All right, guys. So today we're going to talk about idempotence. So I don't know exactly how to pronounce the word, but I call it idempotence. So this is the word. Idempotence. You can, say that however you want to say it. What does idempotence mean? Well, idempotence means the idea that whenever you push something up, it's going to be the same no matter how many times you do it. So if I were to make a request or something 10 million times, all 10 million times it's going to be the same. Kinda. It's going to be kind of the same. It's going to be the same as if I did it once or if I did it 10 million times. So the way that we can look at this is the difference between post and get. That's a very simple way to look at it. So the difference between post and get is every time you do a get statement, it's going to be pretty much the same. So let's say that we've never posted it. We're not going to post anything. Let's say we have a get for a very specific ID. So we're only going to get the one ID. We're just going to get this one over and over again. We cast it 10 million times. It's going to be the exact same thing. If no one's ever messed with it, it's going to be the exact same thing. And we're not changing anything about this. It's going to be the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So the difference between post is whenever we post something up, we could post the same body up 100 times. So if we put third test true for 50 million of them, it's going to be different every time. Why? Because the ID is going to be different. We are not creating the same record over and 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 over again. We're creating new records every single time. The difference between patch and put is that put is considered to always be idempotent. So what we're saying is no matter how many times you call a put, it's going to do the same thing and it's going to get the same thing back. So if I were to make this request 50 times, it's going to make the same request and it's going to get the same object back. As opposed to patch, while our patch is idempotent because all it does is edit the one file and just edit the columns that you send in. Now that's technically idempotent, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Put is supposed to be. Again, you don't have to make it that way, but you should because that's what it's supposed to do. I mean, there's a lot of things that work that way in life. It's like, hey, it should do this, but it doesn't necessarily have to if you don't do it that way. I mean, you can fly your car. It's not going to go very well for you, but technically you can do it. Just drive off a mountain. Don't drive off a mountain, please. But the difference between patch and put is idempotence. So if we were to make our patch generate a new ID every time, we're going to say, we're going to delete our old one and create a new one every time we edit it. That's pretty stupid, but there could be a use case for that. So instead of editing stuff, we're just creating new ones. We can do that in patch because patch technically doesn't have to be idempotent, but put does. So if we were to make a patch request where we say, hey, we're going to delete the one where it's this ID, and then we're going to create a new one where it has our new stuff in it, and anything that referenced the old one's now going to reference the new one. We don't care about the old one anymore, right? So in our front end with our to-dos, we could do that. It wouldn't do anything. We don't have it hooked up to anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to say anytime that you put or patch a to-do, we're just going to delete it and create a new one with the new stuff in it. We're not getting the same to-do back every time. We're creating new ones every single time, like with post. But unlike put, which is just going to edit the one that we have, it's not idempotent. Patch is not idempotent, put is. And if you don't kind of understand what I'm saying, there's a couple good posts that I like. There's this Stack Overflow post that's very, very good. It's the first thing that'll pop up on Google, but then the title is REST API Put versus Patch with Real Life Examples. So this is a very good one to look at. And there's a couple of YouTube videos out there that I'm not going to link to because I can't remember them off the top of my head. But this will kind of show you the basics of idempotence as well if you didn't understand my example. But it's kind of nice to know these intricacies because some people don't. And it's very nice to know the difference. So again, this is more of a theoretical video or not theoretical, but it was less implementation. But again, it's nice to know, not necessarily need to know, but when you're designing your APIs, you should know this kind of stuff because people are going to expect that you know the stuff that are going to be using your APIs. So next up, we're going to do a delete and a get single. This is going to be very short. It's obviously very simple from what we've got our base of. And then we're going to start moving on to the UI. So I'll see you guys then.